Hello everyone. I'm Trainer Joe Dawkins of Trainer Joe Fitness, and I'm going to be continuing the series of talks on mental health. We started with the importance of gratitude, and today I'm going to talk about the power and importance of acceptance. I want to say during this pandemic that everyone has my condolences, if they're appropriate, my prayers, and just a lot of positive energy going out to the world right now. I can say it's definitely hitting me close to home. Yes, this conversation that I want to have with you is of the utmost importance, because staying mentally strong, staying mentally clear, focused, keeping things in the proper perspective, so that we don't fall prey to depression and anxiety and all sorts of other traumatic things that can have us coming out of this situation, in pretty bad shape. So, acceptance. The first thing for me with acceptance is I'm a person who prided myself, who had it embedded in his head, power, and I wanted to control, and I believed I could control and have power over everything in my life, and not only myself, but especially and I could control and have power over everything to make everything conspire to my ends, to meet my ends, to meet my goals, to get the results that I wanted. Boy, was I wrong. So what life has taught me as I've grown, the reality of the situation is that I'm powerless almost over everything. I have no power over other people. I have no power over creatures, and I have really no power over nature or anything else in creation other than myself. And the thing that I have the primary power over regarding myself, the prime authority is my attitude, right? So we talked about attitude in terms of gratitude, but I want to talk about attitude in terms of acceptance. So the statement that it's 1% what happens to you and 99% how you respond to it, I've found that to be true because of this fact of life, from my personal experience, of how many things that I just actually really don't have control over. So the only thing that I can really control is how I respond to it, what my attitude towards it is. So when a lot of people hear acceptance, I almost want to joke and say, like, it almost feels like a dirty word, because people may tend to take it like, oh, well, I just accept things, and then, I just let them have their way with me, and, acceptance as meaning, I don't do anything about anything. It just is what it is, and it is what it is. I would just share with you what I've gained from acceptance. So if I'm not in control of 99.99999% of the things that are going on, then the only thing that I can really do is to accept things the way that they are. Because what happens is things don't go our way. Things often don't go our way. Things are outside of our control. And then we resist that. We reject that. We deny that. And we're in this constant state of tension and warfare with the external circumstances that we can't control and our internal desires that we're not getting. And it results in a state of disturbance, in a state of depression, in a state of stress, in a state, all these different negative states. So what's my personal experience? I've experienced all those states for the majority of my life. And when I learned to practice acceptance of things the way that they are, then for the first time in my life, a person who would have defined his life by a constant internal battle, a constant internal struggle, a war within myself, and a war with, how the external world wasn't, meeting my needs or fitting my desires, or disappointing me or failing me, and how my best efforts to control everything and empower myself to have everything go my way wasn't working. Once I realized my powerlessness, once I accepted it, then for the first time in my life, this person who's been at war knew peace. And Then I'll give you another piece, P-I-E-C-E, another piece after that piece. Haha, see how I did that? The thing is this, it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. Now, there are times when truly, yes, the only action is to have an attitude of acceptance, to accept what is going on, to get the peace that you will get from it, to realize that it's outside of your control and it is what it is. And even in that, if we're looking at what the alternatives are and have been, how amazing is that? But then what I want to also offer you is this. Oftentimes there is something you can do because you do control your actions. You do control your response. And when I accept things first, when I accept the things that I cannot control, like I can't control the pandemic. And at first I didn't want to accept that. And I'm a personal trainer and a strength conditioning coach by trade. And the gyms were shutting down and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I felt like I got punched in the jaw and knocked out. But once I accepted it, then clarity came in. Because in a peaceful state, I have found that my focus is better, clarity is better, something I would dare to say, my intuition is better, that inner voice and that special voice. And then all of my movements, all of my actions, if there are any to take, are better, are more productive, and are more fruitful. But the most powerful thing I can say is that I do firmly believe that a lot of us are operating on some spectrum of being disturbed all the way to being downright depressed and miserable. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we just can't accept things for what they are. And there are things that we can't control, which is the majority of things. And only thing that we can control is how we respond to these things. And the beauty in controlling our response, controlling our attitude, and learning to accept things is that we can know peace. And then it doesn't matter what the external circumstances are. And this is really from personal experience, someone who has really went through some trials in life. Then it doesn't matter what the external circumstances are. I'm still good. I'm still good. And then if there is action to take, my actions are good and they produce good results. So when you pair gratitude and acceptance, you're cooking with fire right there, and you're going to be in a peaceful state, and you're going to see some amazing things happening in your life. Have a beautiful day.